Hello there. Welcome to my thought for today. We are in Luke chapter 16, verse 10. I think we'll just stick with one verse today. It's a little passage here. You might read it each day we think about it. It's from verses 10 to 13 of Luke 16. And this verse says, "He who is faithful in a very little is faithful also in much. And he who is dishonest in a very little is dishonest also in much." It's important. Faithfulness is important. You may have very little to offer God. You may have a very small job that he's given you. Maybe all you've got is, I say all, some people think of it as little, some people think of it as much. Maybe the only thing that you have to do for God is to care for your family. Maybe that's all it is. But you do it faithfully, and God will expand what you do. And it's all about heart attitude, you see. It's all about heart attitude. If we are really serving the Lord, it doesn't matter what he asks us to do. Even if it's the most meagre, mean, lowest of jobs to do. Even if it's just making a cup of tea for somebody. Maybe that's all it is. But if we do it faithfully, and with a good heart, then the Lord knows that in the bigger things that he gives us, we will be faithful in that. And equally, if someone's given a menial task, a little task to do, and they're not honest about it, they're dishonest, they don't do it, and they do it with a bad grace, they won't be given anything. They'll be the same in more that they do. Now, there are exceptions, of course, to something like this. There are those people who, when they get saved, their whole attitude to everything is changed. But we still need this same attitude, that yes, we can change. But it should not matter to us what it is that God has asked us to do. And I can remember there's an example that I want to share with you. Years ago, when I belonged to a particular church, it was a large church, and it had a great ministry in the area where it was, and this young man, new Christian, joined the church, and he hadn't been in the church very long when he went to the senior pastor and said to him, "Please send me on the mission field. Send me to another country. I want sponsorship from you to go as an evangelist." And the pastor, in his wisdom, said to him, "So how many people have you led to the Lord? If you're an evangelist, how many people have you led to the Lord here since you've been saved?" And he said, No one. But my calling is to Africa. I think it was Africa. And the senior pastor said, "Oh, okay, but what are you doing within the church at the moment? What service are you giving to the life of the church here?" And he said, "Well, I go to the house group." And the senior pastor said, No. What work? What are you putting your hand to for the kingdom?" And he wasn't. He was in that church as a passenger, as a spectator, if you like. And the pastor said to him, "Well, I have a job for you. We have nobody to clean the men's toilets. I'd like you to clean the men's toilets every week." And this young man was offended and went away. And there were those who went to the senior pastor and said to him, that was a bit unkind. And he said, no, he said, if he's not faithful in little, how can he be trusted with a lot? You know, if we were to raise money to send him abroad, we'd need to know the quality of the man. And we'd need to know his heart was after the glamour, the glamorous thing of being a missionary abroad, being sent by a church, of being a representative of Jesus to people who'd never heard of him. He was after the glamour. His heart was not content to serve in whatever way God called him to serve. His heart, he was unable to be faithful in a little. We need to be faithful in a little, you know. That whatever God gives us to our hand to do for him, we should do for him. One other small example, something I experienced during the lockdown. I was going through our car park. We have to park in a car park behind our house, round the corner off the next street. And I was going through the car park, and I realised there was a man with a lot of his belongings in a car. And I approached him and spoke to him, and he said, I've been thrown out of where I live. I've nowhere to go. And I said to him, would you like a hot drink? And he said, oh, I've got water. Well, I went straight home and I made him a hot drink, and I brought it out to him. And he was astonished that I did that. And I did that several times before he moved on. We had little chats. But I don't know what happened to him in the end. But I believe the Lord said to me, go and get him a hot drink. And I gave him some cake or something, a biscuit, I don't know what I gave him, along with the hot drink, whatever I thought to give him. I wanted to help him. I wanted just to show that he was loved, because I don't know what he'd done. I don't know anything about him. And we don't know what God might call us to do. We should be content to do even the little things and be faithful to do them to the best of our ability. And God trusts us with more. He who is faithful in a very little is faithful also in much. And he who is dishonest in a very little is dishonest also in much. Have a great day. Think about these things, and I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.